can see my screen, right? Right. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about decision tree algorithm and one example regarding that. Right. And to remember, the decision tree algorithm is one important classification algorithm that we frequently refer for our common day problems. Right. Just you have seen in the last lecture that how we have classified that customers based upon those age groups and that credit part, right? And thereby we classify that, or we predict that whether that particular customer visiting our shop is going to buy that laptop or not. Now, the same example I'm citing here, this one. Okay, let me, this one. Now, this table, if it is visible to you, you can see it. Let me, okay, see, this table is given an age, income, student, credit ranking by computer. Please take a screenshot of this. Rika, have you taken the screenshot? Hello, I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are audible.
Yes, please take a screenshot of this because in the last lecture I have
Yes,
shown,
sir, I have taken it.
yeah, try to construct the tree this time by yourself. But see, first we have to identify that on the what attribute, on the basis of what attribute we go for the classification, right? So here we are mainly focusing on age. So age becomes the root node, right? And after that, the conditions like less than equal to 30, then 31 to 40, and then greater than 40. Then again, three more conditions. Student. Okay, then yes, then credit ranking. So we have seen that when age is less than 30, so he or she belongs to the student group, right? If he is a student or she is a student, then there is a probability that he go for buying the computer. If he is not a student, then our classification tag is no. But when we have seen that 31 to 40 group, please do refer this table, then only you will understand. Okay, 31 to 40, then of course he or she is going to buy the computer. We can use our common sense that if a person belongs to this age group, he kind of very busy person. He doesn't want to actually misuse his time by visiting the shops. Okay, so when he go for visiting the shop, so there is a certainty that he or she is going to buy the computer. But when you see the age group greater than 40, then again one more condition we have applied, that is credit ranking. Okay, when the credit ranking is excellent, there is no certainty from the table, and when there is a fair credit ranking, then yes, he is going to he or she is going to buy the computer. So this is a decision tree we have constructed from this table, but please try to construct it by your own. Okay, the table is given here. Now let's see the algorithm. Let me clear this. This is the basic algorithm. This algorithm, to remember, this is a kind of greedy algorithm. And I hope you know what does it mean by greedy algorithm. But to recall it, greedy algorithms are those algorithms which actually not satisfied with its current state and always try to find a and more optimal one. Means if you are in this state, you'll find the cost occurred is 20, say 20 units. But if you find one more state where cost involved is 10 only, then of course you will switch to that particular state. Right. This is just an example to show you what does it mean by a greedy algorithm. So first thing is that decision tree, this is a greedy kind of algorithm. Then next thing is that this is a top-down recursive divide and conquer manner. Now how this term is related to this from the previous example, see, I have so just say that this is a kind of top-down recursive divide and conquer manner. So See, what is this? This is the road, right? And this is the top. We are not moving from bottom to top. We are moving from top to down. And while doing so, what we are doing is that we try to recursively apply the divide and conquer strategy, right? Divide and conquer strategy means what? Previously, we have this one node and we have three conditions, right? And based on the three conditions, we have divided into three different nodes, right? So always we try to divide and based on that, we conquer it. So this is a kind of top-down, to remember, and divide and conquer strategy. Next thing. Now, at start, all the training examples are at the root, right? Attributes are categorical, and about the categorical attributes or the different classifications under it, I have already told you in some of my previous lectures. And I, at the time also, I told you that these are very important. You have to know. Suppose today I ask you that what is symmetrical one. So you should be able to answer this type of questions. So attributes here we are using the kind of categorical, and if continuous valued, they are discretized well in advance. Now, examples are partitioned recursively based on the selected attributes. Just you have seen it, I have shown it with the help of that example. And then these attributes are selected on the basis of a heuristic or statistical measure. And this part is very important. See, what I have just told you that we are applying what divide and conquer manner. Okay, divide and conquer strategy. But based on what criteria we go for applying these. So those conditions are kind of some heuristic measures. And based on that, if we use different type of heuristic or this type of statistical measure, we'll have different types of decision tree. I'll show you the classification. So first such measure is entropy or information gain. Okay, like that. Then conditions for stopping partitioning. See, what we are doing, आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो? You go for dividing and conquering, right? But at one time you have to stop. So as an algorithm, you have to include that part, that on what basis you will stop that partitioning, or on what basis you have to stop your algorithm. So conditions are all samples are for a given node belongs to the same class. तो एक टाइम आ गया, सपोज जितने भी नोड्स हैं वो एक ही क्लास में बिलोंग कर रहे हैं. Whatever the nodes you have got, they belong to the same class. So it doesn't need any more partitioning, right? Then this is the first condition. Next condition is that, say there are no more remaining attributes for further partitioning. मीन्स अपने पास और एट्रीब्यूट है ही नहीं जिसको आप क्या करने जा रहे हो, पार्टीशन करने जा रहे हो. देयर आर नो remaining attributes for further partitioning. So majority thing is employed for classifying the list. Then suppose third one is that, of course this is very clear, if there is no sample then we don't need to apply the algorithm. So these three conditions: first, if they belong to the same class; second, no remaining attributes; third, no samples left. So these are the three conditions for the stopping criterion, right? Let me clear this. Now, I just told you that what we are using is some statistical measures. So I am just giving you a brief introduction of them, but as a PhD scholar, you have to study them well. You have to go through them practically. Okay, don't leave them. So first such measure is entropy or information theory. In your image processing also, you are frequently going to use this term, entropy. Okay, entropy means this changes, this information gain. Okay, we frequently use this to know that what is the uncertainty level associated with a particular variable. And to use, means to calculate this, we need to use a formula, and that is this one: minus I goes from 1 to m pi log I, where pi is b. Now this values 1 to m, that is y1 to ym. So we need to classify, we need to find out that whether, means this has this level of uncertainty or this level of uncertainty. So higher the entropy, of course, this will imply what? Higher uncertainty, and lower the entropy, it will of course imply lower uncertainty. But now different types of data means data, for the different types of data, you may need to apply this entropy in a different sense. Like in our image case, in our image processing, when we apply this entropy, when we got a higher entropy, and that will imply the positive thing. That will imply the positive thing in the sense that you have done a very good level of what? Enhancement to that image. Means before applying some enhancement technique, if you got an entropy level, say E1, and after employing those enhancement technique, you got an entropy level, say E2, and you got that E2 is greater than E1, then this this is a kind of objective evaluation, and this will imply that you have your enhancement technique is performing better, right? Similarly, you know about the conditional probability. So according, means, in our Bayes theorem, we